Good morning, Mrs. DeLuca, here from the basement of La Penta. I always say Mrs. DeLuca just because
It's our most loyal.
she's our only fan.
Yeah.
You can't even say my mom. That's so bad, you know? My mom was just, like, never around for it.
My
Anyways,
mom hits up the YouTube once in a while.
does she?
Yeah, my
Yeah.
mom can't watch live anymore. It's kind of unfortunate.
You know what my mom does? I'll just post the links on Facebook, but she'll just like them. She won't watch anything. And part of that's my fault anyways. I don't want her to watch anything because I don't want her commenting on it. My mom is just, she's stereotypical mom sports fan. Because my
That's
whole
okay.
household is all Yankees fans.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
They're all Yankees fans in my household, but she'll only root for the Mets because I root for them. and
See, I don't have that problem. Everybody in my family is a Mets fan in my immediate family.
Football's
My
weird in
family's the
my
same way.
family.
Really?
Yeah, because my dad didn't grow up rooting for a team really. I think if it was a team, it was the Steelers.
That was kind of that generation.
Yeah.
All
no,
parents are like Steelers and Packers fans.
Because he,
you know,
well, Cowboys.
Yeah. More Cowboys.
is
Cowboys do.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
Well, but he grew up when the Steelers were better.
Right.
Because in the 70s, they were just beating the Cowboys all the time.
True.
So,
True stuff.
anyways, talking about, I don't know what to call my Mets. I can't.
The Metsies. Still.
Yeah, Casey Stengels.
Yes.
They're just the Mets. Like, it's literally just the Mets.
No. Okay. This is what I want to get out of the way. As bad as they performed last night, Kershaw was better than the Mets were bad. If
Yeah.
that makes sense.
No, that makes complete sense.
The
Complete
Mets,
and perfect
the
sense.
Mets-
Kershaw pitched an amazing game.
we have to give him more respect. When I'm not saying I knew Kershaw was going to pitch amazing last night, but it didn't have a good vibe to it when, if you were watching the broadcast on TBS, when you see Kershaw in the dugout pumped up like crazy, screaming, giving
Yeah.
high fives
Yeah.
and everything. That honestly scared me a little bit. I was like, oh god, this guy actually is pissed off.
You know what really scared me? When I think it was like the 6th, maybe, or maybe even earlier, when they started putting Bartolo in the pen, and then they started to take Bartolo out, and then they had
In the
DeGrom in the
fourth.
pen.
Fourth.
I
And
got
then they-
so I
and
was
then they
like,
were
"What are you
both
doing,
going.
Terry Collins?"
I was like, oh, DeGrom's just throwing a pen, getting ready for Thursday. And
I was
oh,
like,
shit.
no, yeah,
I was
no,
like,
wow.
I was
He
like,
might not be.
Terry,
I was like, oh.
what are you
That's-
doing?
No, that's what it was. He was just
Yeah.
thrown. It's just his throw day. He wasn't gonna do it. But the way they do, is anyone really surprised on how they did it?
No.
Like, of course they got to do that. It's like, oh, let's go put him in the pen. Like,
What killed
give
me even
everyone a
more
heart
was
attack.
that Ron Darling was like, "No,
All
it
you-
makes
all
total
you-
sense."
All
I
you
was like,
gotta
"No,
do,
it doesn't."
No, it doesn't. All you gotta do is wait for 10 minutes after the game and then have him
Ronnie,
throw his pen.
yeah.
I was like,
That's
"You don't
true.
want to put DeGrom in a game that you're losing."
No,
in.
but that's the thing though. You don't know if you're gonna have to want him to throw 10, whatever afterwards because you might
yeah.
say you grab the lead,
Yeah,
but then again,
You gotta go to the bullpen though.
I know, Familia's amazing.
Familia was lights out again.
Kelly Jansen's
and he
awesome,
didn't
too.
even
In a,
have the
in a
save.
in a playoff game, you can't take any chances.
No,
you
I
get
know.
up, you're number
Oh,
one.
of
You know, you
course.
do what you have to do. So it was probably a pen, and just in case he'll kind of be loose if we need him for an inning and a batter, whatever it was. But it probably was just a pen.
like a
for the most part.
Bumgarner last year kind of thing, like
Yeah.
2-3 batters. And
Yeah.
then, I guess.
Yeah.
But the difference is Bruce Bochy, Terry Collins.
Yeah, no, exactly. Terry
Terry-
Collins is just
Terry's
scary. A scary
clueless.
manager.
Conforto should be playing every game. Yes.
Yeah.
The only way
Especially
you put in,
tomorrow. Especially tomorrow,
Oh, no,
because
he's
I would
not-
argue not against Kershaw. Not, I mean, Brett Anderson, yeah, not Kershaw. You don't want. I don't know if it's.
But the thing is, who's the better option? I'm not going with
Excuse me.
Lagares. I only put Lagares in if I want a defensive substitution, which he did the opposite last night. He switched in Conforto, put Cespedes in center.
Yeah, I also don't like how he pinch hit Kadire, but that was just a lefty-righty thing.
No, it was the dumb thing to do.
I mean, it was a dumb thing, but it
You
was
put
a
in
lefty-righty
a guy
situation.
you put in a guy that gives you the best chance to get a hit,
Yeah.
not someone is like, oh, he's a righty.
Yeah, no, I'm a
Yeah,
I
I'm
don't
a
like
numbers
that.
guy. I'm not a matchup guy. I'm a matchup guy as far as pitchers, but as far as the other way around, I'm a numbers guy.
I mean, I understand
If-
it, but I don't have to
In
like
the playoffs,
in
you
my
do that.
case, if Ellsbury has better numbers against Keuchel than Gardner, but Ellsbury's been struggling more. I still play Ellsbury because he has better numbers against Keuchel. I
Because
don't.
it's the playoffs.
Right,
Too.
I don't-
You
I don't-
risk it. Why?
right.
Because
Right.
it's gonna come back and it'll be like, oh, why the heck did you
I
put
mean-
in Gardner instead of Ellsbury there? It's like well,
Another argument is that Kadire has more experience and maybe he wouldn't crack under the
Doesn't
pressure
matter.
as much as
Doesn't
Conforto
matter. Doesn't
would.
matter
Like,
experience.
you know.
So what? David Price has a ton of experience in playoffs. That doesn't mean he pitched well in it.
True.
Experience means nothing. Just because you've been there doesn't mean you still know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Don Mattingly's been to the playoffs before, still doesn't know what he's doing.
True. Very, very true.
Okay? Donnie's just getting lucked out by the best pitcher I can think of that I've seen past 10 years.
Can we call him getting lucked out though? He hasn't won anything. Every time they've been to the playoffs, they haven't won anything.
Who?
You know,
Donnie?
Dodgers.
Like, no. Who getting
Well, the
lucked out?
Dodgers in general. I'm saying, can we call him, getting lucked out because they haven't won anything? He's lucked out in the series. He finally got a win from Kershaw. I mean, it's been what, like 5 years?
Yeah, it took an amazing game from Kershaw, an amazing game from Greinke to get 2 wins.
Well, same thing with the Mets.
It went fortunately for them.
Noah pitched a great game, and then it took a great offensive game to win it. I mean, it's gonna go that way either way in the playoffs.
Yeah, true.
You don't just accidentally win playoff games.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
In my opinion.
As much as I hate to admit it, this is. I like the way it's being set up for the Mets again because they had Kershaw go last night and it humbled them a little bit, and it sends them back to LA where Dodgers have home field, and they have Greinke going. Everyone's gonna be picking the Dodgers, and that's something that I think actually favors the Mets again because in Game 1 it was DeGrom Kershaw, and they're like,
And
oh, Dodgers at
everyone
home.
gave it to Kershaw, right?
What chance do the
Right.
Mets have? It's all Kershaw, And then what does DeGrom do? DeGrom out pitches him. And DeGrom's had more days rest now, technically, right, than Greinke.
Yes.
Yeah, he's had an extra day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
an extra day.
day is an extra day.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yep.
Like at the beginning of the series, I picked the Mets to move on, and I just think this game is going to be so interesting because DeGrom's been so good. He's been the horse. The offense has been good enough, other than last night. But I don't know. I just don't know. I just don't know if Greinke's going to lose at home.
Exactly.
I feel like last night was the deciding game of the series. I'd still like the Mets to pull it out. I just really don't see them doing it in LA with Greinke on them. I mean, unless DeGrom gives you 8 shutout innings or something, and Cespedes homers. I don't like.
Terry needs to make a change.
I think the odds right now are 60% in the Dodgers' favor, 40% in the Mets' favor. Very slim.
Yeah,
but still heavily on
it's gonna be a great game.
side.
I beginning of the series I picked the Mets, but at this point, like I said, I'd still like the Mets to win. I just really don't know.
Because I thought if it had to go to
if it had to go back,
it's
really it's difficult.
It's too difficult to pick. And
to beat Kershaw and Greinke back-to-back nights, well, back-to-back games, and one of them is in LA. That's tough.
They
That's tough.
almost did it, and it wasn't a guarantee that they were gonna win.
Right.
In that game, in the game 2, but damn.
Well, they needed.
I don't
that
want to
game.
use it. I don't want to hear it as an excuse after the series is over.
Right.
As to it's because we got screwed over in game 2.
No, but that could end up being
No, it's gonna end up being the reason, but it's not an excuse.
It's not an excuse, no, because you had other opportunities to capitalize. Right,
yeah.
you had other opportunities to capitalize.
Same thing. Why I don't like how Red Sox fans used Buckner as an excuse, or how Texas Rangers fans use Nelson Cruz as an excuse. It's not.
Yep.
The Rangers got the lead back.
No one play defines a whole series.
No,
I mean, you could argue that it was a turning point, but it's not.
That's why you play more than one game.
Right.
This is why you play more than one game.
It's only a turning point if you allow it to be a turning point.
Right.
Yep.
Exactly.
And they won the game after.
If the Mets capitalized Thursday
anyway.
night, yeah, well, true, they did win the game anyway. But if the Mets capitalize and they win Thursday night and that's it, no one's gonna talk about it. Well, or it will get talked about, but it's not gonna be. It's not gonna have the impact that it will have. If they
It
lose.
won't be.
We didn't win because Utley.
Right. It's not gonna have the impact that it would if they
No,
lose.
they didn't win because the captain's hitting under 100 in the series.
Not just him, Duda's hitting under 100 too.
Yeah,
Isn't
but
he?
Duda basically hit under
Duda's
100 for the season.
133.
Still. That's
I'm-
still
what-
that's still like
Darno's under
you're
too
talking like
much.
that's good though.
for Duda, yeah.
Grandy and Cespi are the only guys. I mean, Murphy has 1 home run versus lefties all year. Hit 2
Two.
off of the
Yep.
best pitcher in baseball.
I think
in
he
a
just
5-game
I think he
series.
just got a good look and just decided to hit it. Twice.
I am
Twice.
not a
To
fan
hit
of
it
hitting
twice.
third.
Yeah, I
don't
think
really.
it's kind of
Who
mind-boggling
do you think
to
should
me.
be hitting third then?
Cespedes.
Cespedes.
Your best hitter hits
Yeah,
third.
probably.
Your best hitter.
Your
always
best
hits
hitter
third.
always hits third.
Look what happened last night in that situation.
Yep.
I would go Cespedes 3, Duda 4.
Yes, yeah,
and,
that's what I'm
and,
saying.
And Murphy 5.
Murphy, David.
Well,
I
with
would
him
like
struggling,
Darno second.
I
and
would.
switch David.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense too. Even Murphy second. I mean anything to.
Yeah, but I think Terry
We're gonna
wants to
see a
stay away
lineup
from
change.
2 lefties.
Yeah, you have to. Yeah, for matchup reasons. You have to. But he's gonna have to make a change for Game 5, and if that might be the change. But at this point, is it too late to fix it?
Well-
we don't know, so we have to see.
Well, one big thing people were also talking about coming into the series was how well will the pitching do considering how young they are. And I thought they've pitched as well as
They've done
any
fine.
staff in
Yep.
the whole playoffs.
They've exceeded expectations in my
Think
eyes.
about it. Matt's 2 earned runs. Harvey 2 earned runs.
Yep.
Then there was DeGrom gave up 1, right? Or no?
Yes.
No, I think the bullpen gave up 1 run.
Yeah, the bullpen
Clippard gave up
yes,
the 1
Clippard
run.
gave
DeGrom
up.
didn't
Yep.
give up a run. Syndergaard 2 runs. Pretty sure a run or 2.
Two.
That's all they needed. Like, if you came
Yeah.
into the series and you're like, if all these guys can limit themselves to 2 or 3 runs a game, they're golden.
And that's what
They
they've done.
did that, but
It's
they
just not
could
working
not
out.
score.
Yeah.
They
no.
couldn't. They couldn't score when they needed to last night. Props to the Dodgers for that. Their bullpen, I don't know. Everyone was saying that bullpen is awful. It didn't. It hasn't looked that bad to me.
No, it hasn't. It surprisingly hasn't, because it's not a. It really isn't a very good bullpen. It's probably the worst bullpen in the playoffs, in my eyes.
I don't think the Mets is that good.
I think the Mets back end is more reliable than the Dodgers, so I give the Mets a little bit of an advantage there.
Jansen's only blown.
No, yeah, he
saves
has,
all
but
year.
but you have Kenley Jansen. What else do you have?
Hatcher he looked good the 2 starts, the 2 times he went in.
We'll see Thursday.
All he has to do.
Greinke and DeGrom are probably going at 7+ each, unless one of them gets rocked. I mean,
I don't know. Well, like here's the thing. It's gonna be weird because, as much as they can think about the next series,
you
they
do
have
have it does have to be in the
They
back of your
have
mind.
Yeah.
it has to be in the back of your mind because say you do pull off that game, DeGrom's not gonna be able to pitch Game 3, and same thing with Greinke.
Yeah.
Game 2 or 3.
Yeah, but you know what? You have to win the game in front of you first. You have to do all hands
I
on
know.
deck. You got to do whatever it takes. Obviously Harvey would be starting Game 1 if the Mets win.
Yeah.
And then
do what you have to
Syndergaard.
do to get to the next.
Cinder-
step
oh,
and
so
then
you,
think
so yeah,
about
but
it.
so you go Syndergaard, Harvey, and if you
But
can,
do you?
but then you have to wait and see if you can win 2. If you win 2, then it doesn't really. You could throw Bartolo Game 3. You can kind of not throw away a game, but
But do you really want?
you're gonna be at home, so you can you can mix and match a little
They
bit.
Wait,
can-
yeah, I wanted to ask about that.
What?
So the
Nice.
Cubs have a better record,
Mm-hmm.
but the Mets won
I
the
think
division.
The Mets get
So who gets
I
home?
think Mets get home.
Really?
Is it?
I had
think
no
so.
idea.
It makes more sense
I
that
think
way.
Just because Cubs had wild card.
Yeah, I don't remember for
Okay.
sure, but I think it does
That's
go to
the thing.
the division
At
winner.
that point, it's not NBA. It's not
Right.
record.
Either way, still, you're gonna have Syndergaard and then Harvey. Game 3, there could be rain. I mean, there's a lot of factors, but
as good as the Mets
you have to
are
win
at
game
City, they
game
have-
5 first. You have to get past that game. You have to think ahead somewhat, but you can't think that far
I'm
ahead.
really thanking my lucky stars that I didn't buy tickets for last night's game right now.
Well, you would have spent an absurd amount of money. First off,
I would have spent an absurd amount of money,
for a miserable
Alright.
train ride home.
and
Oh yeah.
I would have gotten back
Miserable.
very late and not been able to do the
I
radio
got back
show.
at 2 a.m.
Yeah.
I got back at 2 a.m. Okay, so
It's about when I went to bed.
now
Yeah,
to wrap
same though.
to end this segment, we're gonna ask for predictions. Go with Mikey first.
Oh God, why are you doing this to me?
Because it's a radio
just
show,
for the
Mike.
game.
Well, the game is the series, pretty much.
Yeah. I gotta go Dodgers. I can't see it.
All right, give
I
up
don't
on
want-
your team.
I still don't want to jinx it.
Well,
You know me, I'm a very superstitious person. I
Since
As a
can't.
baseball fan, super.
since it's not my team, I'm gonna go with the Dodgers, just for the fact that I don't think Greinke's losing at home Elliott's gonna be going nuts. First of all,
Greinke's too
I
good.
think the first 2 innings are really gonna be, the telltale sign. If DeGrom gets through 2 innings scoreless, and if Greinke gives up a run, I think whoever takes the lead first. Honestly, he's gonna win
I
the
would
game.
agree with that, but after what happened in Game 2,
Well,
I
right.
disagree.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Because they were up 2-0 after
Right.
a couple.
3.
Nah, 2. They only scored 2 runs that game.
I was talking
The
about
Mets.
game. No, game 3. What game? What game?
I'm
are you
talking
about?
about Game 2.
Oh, you're talking about
because
game
that's the
2.
last
I thought you were
game
talking. I
Greinke
thought you
pitched
were
at
talking
home.
about. I thought you were talking about
No,
game
because-
3, how the
no,
Dodgers
because you
blew
said
it.
the telltale.
Right. Well, I
the
thought you were
first
talking
couple
about.
innings, but
right.
the Mets were up the first.
Well,
2
that's true.
innings.
And then look at game 3 too. The Dodgers were up 3-0 and blew it. So, but
But then again, they didn't send out Greinke.
I just went this whole radio show with my headphones on backwards. That's always fun.
Thanks for that fact.
happy Wednesday.
Okay,
Hump day.
I will do what it's been working for me all year. I'm picking the Dodgers.
Yeah, exactly.
In that case, I'll pick the Mets.
No, but it's true. No, I picked the Mets in 4, but since that's not true, I'm allowed to switch now.
You're allowed-
because
I-
got
Yes,
it
you
wrong.
are allowed to switch now.
Theoretically, you are allowed to switch. I mean,
I
I
got
picked
it
I
wrong.
picked the Mets, but now that you look at it,
It's
now it's a
restarted.
game.
You're
Now it's
always
by
allowed
game
to
by
switch
game.
though. You're always allowed to switch though because
No,
there's
I'm
You're
not.
allowed to
deciding
switch in the last
factors.
game of the
I'm
series.
not flip-flopping. I was just wrong, so now I have to
Right.
make a new
You
prediction.
could you could switch in the last game of the series because it's different. You can't switch after game 2 and they lose, and game 5
Yeah,
you
we're
can
not
make
going
the
Skip
switch.
Bayless.
Yeah, we're not skipping over here.
Okay. So all 3 of us have the Dodgers winning. So yeah. Okay, so that's I don't know why. I
Just
don't
the
know what I was trying to
unspoken rule. Of
What is Don
not-
Mattingly's fate
not picking your
if the
own
Dodgers don't advance?
say. Either
Is he
way,
still- is he
Mattingly's
still
getting
around?
fired.
You think?
Either way?
Of course. Yeah.
What
Either
do you mean
way.
either? What if they win the World Series? He's
No,
getting
well,
fired.
no,
Yeah.
because they're not winning the
Well,
World Series.
well,
That's
right.
why I'm saying.
Right,
If
but
he wins the World Series,
you
what
think
are you
he's
gonna
gone?
do?
You think he's gone? Magic pulls the trigger.
Donnie's gone.
Magic's not pulling any
Magic
triggers.
doesn't even know what's
Magic's
going
not.
on.
Magic doesn't know idea what's going on.
Magic only tweets when the Dodgers win.
Right. Yeah. It sounds like a lot of fans I know.
He doesn't say. He only tweets about his teams that win. He doesn't tweet about any of the bad teams, aka the Lakers.
Ooh.
Yeah. Well.
He only tweets it's like, oh, it's that Laker luck. Got that number 2 pick. It's like,
PMP
come on,
Sports
Magic.
taking shots at Magic Johnson.
I'm always taking shots at Magic. I don't.
We out here, Magic.
All right.
Come through. I'm in
PMP
college.
Sports. Be back in
Basement of La Penta.